my wife announced. "I'm getting lunch with my ex to get closure. Stop being controlling." I said, "Get all the closure you need." While they were at lunch, I got closure too, by consulting a divorce attorney and changing the locks. The locksmith was just finishing when she pulled into the driveway. Original post: I, 38 male, watched my wife Natalie, 36, get dressed for her closure lunch with her ex Trevor. She was wearing the black dress I bought her for our anniversary, the one that made her look incredible. For closure. "You sure you're okay with this?" she asked, applying lipstick in our bedroom mirror. Not her everyday stuff. The expensive one she saves for special occasions. "Like you said, I need to stop being controlling," I replied, sitting on the bed. "Get all the closure you need." She paused, probably surprised I wasn't arguing anymore. We'd been fighting about this for 2 weeks. Trevor had reached out last month, just wanted to talk, to clear the air, to get closure after their messy breakup 8 years ago. You know, the one that happened because she caught him with her roommate. "It's just lunch, Daniel," she said for the 100th time. "We were together for 5 years. I need to close that chapter properly." "Funny how that chapter needs closing right after he got divorced," I mentioned casually. Her face hardened. "You're doing it again, being controlling, jealous. This is exactly why I need to do this, to prove to myself and you that it means nothing." "You're right," I said. "My bad. Enjoy your closure." She kissed my cheek, barely a peck, and grabbed her purse. "I'll be back by 3, maybe 4. Depends on traffic." The restaurant she'd chosen was 20 minutes away. Traffic wouldn't make it a 3-hour lunch. But hey, closure takes time, right? I waited exactly 5 minutes after her car left the driveway. Then I made 2 phone calls. First, "Hi, is Attorney Reeves available?" "Yes, I'd like to schedule an emergency consultation today. It's about a divorce." Second, "Hello, I need a locksmith. How soon can you come?" Perfect. Cash payment okay? See, what Natalie didn't know was that I'd already done my homework. 3 weeks ago, when she first mentioned Trevor reaching out, something felt off. Call it intuition. Call it 7 years of marriage teaching me her tells. I'd checked our phone bill. 63 texts to an unsaved number over the past month. The number traced back to Trevor's construction business. Friendly closure planning requires a lot of coordination, apparently. Update 1. The attorney's office was exactly what you'd expect. Leather chairs, dark wood, certificates on the walls. Miss Reeves was in her 50s, no-nonsense type who'd probably seen every version of this story. "My wife's at lunch with her ex-boyfriend right now," I started. "She says it's for closure." "It's never just closure," she said, pulling out a legal pad. "Tell me everything." I laid it out. The texts. The sudden interest in gym time that didn't result in any gym progress. The new lingerie hidden in her drawer that she hadn't worn for me. The way she'd been guarding her phone like it contained nuclear codes. "Do you have evidence of infidelity?" she asked. "Not yet. But does it matter? I want out either way. Someone who needs closure with their ex while wearing their best dress isn't committed to their marriage." She nodded. "Let's talk assets." The house was mine. Inherited from my grandmother before we married. Clean inheritance, separate property. Thank God I never added her name. Our accounts were separate except for one joint checking for bills. Cars were each in our own names. No kids. We'd been trying for 2 years, but turns out she'd been on birth control the whole time. Found the pills hidden in her laptop bag last month. "This is actually pretty clean," Ms. Reeves said. "The house being inherited pre-marriage is huge. She has no claim to it. She's been living there for 6 years. Doesn't that matter?" "Not legally. She's been living there as your spouse. Once you file, she's got 30 days to vacate unless a judge says otherwise. Given no children and her having full-time employment, that's unlikely." We discussed strategy for an hour. Filed the initial paperwork electronically right there in her office. The beauty of modern technology, divorce papers would be ready for service tomorrow. The locksmith, Jake, was finishing the back door when I got home at 2:15. Front door was already done. "Rough day?" he asked, probably seeing my face. "Getting better," I said, handing him cash. "Hey, can you stay an extra few minutes? I might need a witness." He looked confused but shrugged. "Your dime, boss." At 2:47, Natalie's car pulled into the driveway. She sat there for a full minute, probably confused about the locksmith van. Finally got out, looking slightly disheveled. Hair not quite as perfect, lipstick gone. She tried her tea. Nothing. Tried again. Knocked. I opened the door but didn't move aside. How was closure? Why won't my key work? Her voice pitched high. Who's this? Jake. He just finished installing new locks. Jake, this is my soon-to-be ex-wife, Natalie. Jake gave an awkward wave. Her face went through about 5 emotions. What are you talking about? Daniel, if this is about lunch. Oh, it's not just about lunch. Check your email. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands. The lawyer had sent the filing confirmation 15 minutes ago. You're divorcing me? Because I had lunch with an ex? No, I'm divorcing you because you've been texting him 63 times this month. Because you're on birth control while we're supposedly trying for a baby. Because you bought lingerie you haven't worn for me. Because you needed closure while dressed like you're going on a date. You went through my things? You checked our phone bill? You are controlling. No, Natalie, I was trusting. Now I'm just done. You can get your stuff tomorrow between 10 and 2. I'll be here with a witness. Update 2. The meltdown was spectacular. Jake stood there looking like he wanted to evaporate while Natalie went nuclear on the front porch. You can't lock me out of my own house. It's not your house, never was. Inherited property, remember? I've lived here for 6 years. As my wife, which you won't be much longer. This is insane. It was just lunch. Trevor and I just talked. Then you won't mind showing me your phone? Your texts with him? She clutched her phone tighter. That's private. Right? Closure requires privacy. Got it. Where am I supposed to go? Trevor's recently divorced. I'm sure he has room. That struck a nerve. You bastard. You planned this. You set me up. No, Natalie. You set yourself up the moment you decided our marriage needed a third person for closure. Jake finally spoke up. I should go. Yeah, thanks, Jake. Invoice me for the extra time. He practically ran to his van. Natalie tried pushing past me. I didn't budge. You need to leave. I'm calling the police. Go ahead. Tell them your husband changed the locks on his inherited property and filed for divorce. See how that goes. She actually did call 911. 2 officers showed up 20 minutes later. I showed them the inheritance paperwork, the filing confirmation, explained she'd been given notice to collect her belongings tomorrow with supervision. Ma'am, the older officer said, this is a civil matter. You'll need to handle it through the divorce proceedings. But my clothes, my things. Sir, can she get some immediate necessities? The officer asked me. Sure. Officers, would you mind supervising? 5 minutes, just essentials. They agreed. She grabbed a bag, threw clothes in randomly, grabbed her toiletries, kept trying to delay, but the officers kept her moving. This is temporary, she hissed at me. My lawyer will destroy you. Looking forward to it. After they all left, I poured myself a scotch and sat on my porch. My phone was blowing up. Her mom, what did you do to my daughter? Her sister, Daniel, this is crazy. Call me. Mutual friends. Dude, Natalie's saying you went psycho? I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I texted my brother, getting divorced. Come over tomorrow at 10 to help supervise her getting her stuff. Him. Finally, that Trevor lunch was the last straw? Me. Yep. About time. I'll bring Dad too. Update 3. The next morning, Natalie showed up at 9:45 with an entourage. Her mom, Helen, her sister, Amy, her best friend, Brittany, and some guy in a cheap suit. This is my lawyer, Mr. Garrison, she announced. The lawyer looked about 25 and was sweating through his suit. Pretty sure he was just out of law school or maybe a paralegal playing dress-up. I'm here to ensure my client gets all her possessions, he said, voice cracking slightly. My brother Tom and father were already there, both built like linebackers, standing behind me. She gets her clothes, personal items, jewelry that wasn't gifts from me, her electronics, nothing else, I said. She's entitled to. Save it for court, buddy, Tom interrupted. You got 2 hours. Helen immediately started in. Daniel, sweetie, this is all a misunderstanding. Natalie told me about the lunch. Nothing happened. Helen, with respect, your daughter went on a date with her ex while married to me. It wasn't a date. She wore special occasion lingerie, Helen. That shut her up. Natalie went red. You don't know that? Black set? The one you bought 3 weeks ago? Yeah, I know. Hard to miss the La Perla bag in the trash. Amy tried next. You're really gonna throw away 7 years over jealousy? No. I'm throwing it away over betrayal. There's a difference. They started packing. Or rather, Natalie directed while the others packed. She kept trying to grab things that weren't hers. That's my grandmother's vase. We bought that together. Receipts in my filing cabinet. I bought it 3 years before we met. The TV is mine. Receipts in the same cabinet. The couch. Seriously, it's from my bachelor apartment. Mr. Garrison kept trying to interject legal-sounding nonsense. My client has established residency and matrimonial claims to shared assets acquired during. Dude, my dad finally said, are you even a real lawyer? I'm a legal advocate. So no, got it. Natalie tried a different approach, started crying. Big, dramatic tears. Daniel, please. We can work this out. It was just lunch. I love you. You loved me so much you needed closure with your ex? It didn't mean anything. Then why did it require your best dress and new underwear? I wanted to look good, to show him what he lost. While married to me. Think about that logic, Natalie. Brittany piped up. You're being so cruel. She made one mistake. One mistake that took 63 texts to plan? That was news to the entourage. Helen turned to Natalie. 63? Mom, it's not. And the birth control? I added. While we were supposedly trying for a baby? That one mistake too? More shocked faces. Amy looked disgusted. Nat, you said you were trying for kids. I wasn't ready. He was pressuring me. I never once pressured you. We agreed together, or I thought we did. By noon, they had her stuff packed. 8 boxes and 3 suitcases. 7 years condensed into a minivan's worth of belongings. This isn't over, Natalie said at the door. I'm getting half of everything. Half of what? The house you have no claim to? The car in your name? The debt you accumulated on your credit cards? Half of your 401k, half of your savings. The 401k I had before marriage and never added you to? The savings in my personal account? Good luck with that. Mr. Garrison tried to look threatening. We'll see you in court. Looking forward to it. Bring a real lawyer next time. Update 4. 2 weeks later, the real entertainment started. Natalie hired an actual lawyer, a bottom feeder named Paulson, who specialized in aggressive divorce tactics. His first move was to file an emergency motion for spousal support and exclusive use of the house. The hearing was set for the following Monday. That weekend, something interesting happened. My buddy Derek, who works in IT, called me. Yo, Dan, you need to see something. Natalie's been posting in this private Facebook group for women going through divorce. She forgot I could see it. Brittany added me months ago. He sent screenshots. Natalie's posts were enlightening. Lunch went better than expected. Trevor still has feelings. We kissed, but nothing more, yet. Now Daniel's being psycho about it. Trevor wants me to move in with him, but I need to secure the house first. My lawyer says I can get it since I've been living there so long. Once I get the house, Trevor and I can start fresh. Daniel was so boring anyway. 7 years wasted on a man who thinks dinner and missionary is romance. I forwarded everything to Miss Reeves. She actually laughed. This is golden. She admitted to infidelity and planning to defraud you. Print all of these. Monday's hearing was beautiful. Natalie showed up in another attention-seeking outfit. Low-cut blouse, tight skirt, batting her eyes at the judge, who was a 60-year-old woman who looked thoroughly unimpressed. Paulson argued that Natalie had been a devoted wife who was now homeless due to my vindictive actions. Ms. Reeves stood up. Your Honor, I'd like to submit Exhibit A social media posts from the respondent. The judge read them. Her eyebrows climbed higher with each page. Miss Thompson, she addressed Natalie, did you write these? Those were private. He had no right. Is that a yes? Yes. So you admit to infidelity? We just kissed. While married, and you're planning to move in with this man? Eventually. But you're requesting exclusive use of the petitioner's inherited property and spousal support? Paulson tried to salvage it. Your Honor, my client was emotionally vulnerable. Your client admitted to infidelity and fraud in writing, Counselor. Motion denied. Natalie was given 30 days from the date of original filing to vacate. 2 weeks left. No spousal support. As we left, Natalie grabbed my arm. Daniel, please. I screwed up. I know, but we can fix this. Counseling, therapy? I'll do anything. Anything except not kiss your ex? It was a mistake. Trevor means nothing. Funny, 3 hours ago you were planning to move in with him. I was hurt. You locked me out after you went on a date with him. It was just lunch with kissing. You admitted it in court. She started ugly crying, mascara running, nose dripping. "You're really gonna throw us away?" "I didn't throw anything away, Natalie. You did. The moment you decided our marriage needed Trevor in it." Update 5. The next 2 weeks were a masterclass in escalation. Natalie went from apologetic to vengeful at light speed. First, she tried the family pressure campaign. Helen called daily, sometimes multiple times. "Daniel, honey, she's staying with Trevor, but it's not what you think." "It's exactly what I think. She has nowhere else to go." "That's not true and you know it. You're being stubborn. Marriage is about forgiveness. It's also about fidelity." She missed that memo. Then came the financial threats. Natalie's new strategy was to claim I'd been hiding assets. Paulson filed discovery requests for 5 years of bank statements, tax returns, investment accounts, even crypto wallets. I don't even own crypto. Miss Reeves was unfazed. "Let them fish. You've been transparent. This is desperation." The real entertainment came when Natalie realized Trevor wasn't the golden ticket she'd imagined. Brittany, who'd initially supported Natalie, reached out to me. "I know I'm the last person you want to hear from, but you should know something." "What?" "Trevor's broke, like really broke. His business is failing, he's behind on his apartment rent, and he's been borrowing money from Natalie. She's maxing out her credit cards to cover his bills. That's her problem. She's telling people you financially abused her, and that's why she has no money. While she's spending it on Trevor? Yeah, I'm done with her drama. Just thought you should know in case she tries something stupid." She did try something stupid. That Thursday, I came home to find my house had been broken into. Nothing stolen, but things were moved. Photo albums were out, drawers opened, papers scattered. I called the cops, then checked my security cameras, installed them after the locksmith day. Clear as day, Natalie using her old key on the back door lock. I'd forgotten to change the garage side door lock. Rookie mistake. The cops were interested. "You want to press charges?" "Absolutely. We'll pick her up." They arrested Natalie at Trevor's apartment that evening. She spent the night in jail before Helen bailed her out. Miss Reeves was ecstatic. Breaking and entering while divorce is pending? She just handed us everything. The next hearing was Friday. Emergency motion from Paulson to dismiss the charges, claiming Natalie was retrieving personal property. Judge, same one, was not amused. "Miss Thompson, did you break into the petitioner's home?" "It was my home too." "Was?" Past tense. "You were explicitly barred from the property. You broke in. I needed my grandmother's ring. I stood up." "Your Honor? May I?" "Go ahead." "There was no ring. Her grandmother is still alive, still wearing all her jewelry. I have security footage of her going through my financial documents." The judge watched the footage on the laptop. Natalie clearly rifling through my desk, photographing documents. "Miss Thompson, this is criminal behavior. The charges stand, and I'm issuing a restraining order. You're not to come within 500 feet of the petitioner or his property." Natalie exploded. "This is bull. He stole my life. I gave him 7 years. And in return," the judge said coldly, "he gave you a home, stability, and trust. You broke that trust. Actions have consequences." Final update. It's been 3 months since the lunch that ended my marriage. Divorce was finalized last week. Final settlement. She got nothing from me. Nothing. The house remained mine, my retirement untouched, my savings intact. She actually ended up owing me $3,200 for half the joint account she drained before I could close it. The criminal charges were pled down to misdemeanor trespassing. 6 months probation, $500 fine, and a permanent restraining order. The aftermath was pathetic, honestly. Trevor dumped Natalie 2 weeks after her arrest. Apparently, a girlfriend with a criminal record and no money wasn't what he'd signed up for. He'd been expecting to move into my house with her, live off whatever she got in the divorce. Natalie tried to come crawling back one last time. Sent a long letter through her mother since she couldn't contact me directly, full of apologies, memories of better times, promises to change. How Trevor had manipulated her, how she'd been confused, how she realized I was the one. I sent it back unopened with a note to Helen. No contact means no contact. Helen called my dad to complain. Dad told her, "Your daughter made her bed with another man. Now she gets to lie in it. Alone." Last I heard through the grapevine, Natalie moved back in with her parents. She's working 2 jobs to pay off the credit card debt she ran up on Trevor, Trevor's already dating someone new, a 23-year-old bartender. She tells anyone who'll listen that I ruined her life over one mistake. As for me, the house is peaceful now, quiet in a good way. I redecorated, got rid of anything that reminded me of her. Even got a dog, something she'd always said no to because they're too messy. Started dating again last month, nothing serious yet, just coffee dates and dinners. Being upfront about the divorce, the drama, all of it. Most women appreciate the honesty. One said, "You handled that like a boss." She played stupid games and won stupid prizes. My brother summed it up best at our family barbecue last weekend. You gave her 7 years to choose you. She chose Trevor. You chose yourself. Best decision you ever made. He's right. The moment Natalie decided she needed closure with her ex, she opened the door to ending our marriage. I just made sure it closed behind her on her way out. Sometimes people ask if I regret moving so fast, not trying counseling, not giving her another chance. No. Not for a second. When someone shows you who they are, someone who will lie, cheat, manipulate, and then play victim, believe them. The closure lunch wasn't the problem. It was the symptom of the problem. A woman who thought she could have her cake and eat it too. Well, she got her cake. It just turned out to be stale and borrowed. Me, I got my life back, my house back, my peace back. Best trade I ever made.